So unfortunately, injuries do happen in jiu-jitsu. I know you chose a sport that said the gentle way, and that this was a sport where you could learn how to win over your opponent using less force and more technique. And then a few years into the journey, you realize that, hey, this sport also involves injuries. So a lot of people that do jiu-jitsu, most people I would assume, get small sprains, twists, sometimes things break, and it's just part of the game. But it sucks if you're not able to train and you have to stay off the mat for a long time. So what can you actually do to get back to the mat, get back to training, to the stuff that you love faster? You might have heard of the concept of RICE or Price M. It's all just variations on the same thing. And this is how people used to treat injuries, which involves putting ice as the first thing. Whenever people sprain something, people would rush to grab an ice bag, put it on. It involved rest, it involved compression, and it involved elevation. And there's not a lot of active recovery in this. And you might still meet people that are proponents of this RICE concept. So rest, ice, compression, and elevation. I'm here to tell you that there's a better way, and it's actually turning everything upside down. So I would encourage you next time you get an injury to try the METH method. METH is not the stuff you take whenever you're out partying. METH stands for movement, elevation, traction, and heat. This is the method that I've used for the past 10 years to recover from a lot of different injuries, and it's also the method that I'm teaching my clients because it works and it gets you back to moving faster. So let's say you sprain your ankle because you take a wrong step when you're trying to pass a guard, and you accidentally catch the mat and you sprain your ankle. The first thing I would do is not to put ice on it. The first thing I would do immediately is obviously stop whatever it is you're doing, so don't make the injury worse. But then I would go to the corner, or I would go to the side of the mat, and I would actually start moving that injured area right away. So I would do that by just doing like small ankle circles, and I would try to do it as painless as possible. So just doing small unloaded movements at a high repetition rate. So I might be doing 50 or 100 reps right after I've sprained something, but not fast, not explosive, and I'm not loading it. I would try to keep the injured area high, so I would still elevate it, because this will help all of the stuff that gets broken down whenever something is injured to transport it away from the injured site through the lymph, which is also why we're doing movement, so they can get broken down and recycled and then excreted from the body, whatever we don't need. The third thing I would do is I would start slowly to add traction to it. Maybe not right away, but within the first few days. So say it's the ankle, I might be looping a band around the ankle to try to pull it from each other. Because what happens is that whenever we injure something, the way the body repairs it is that it will, if we have something here that's broken, in order for the body to mend this gap, it will lay down collagen fibers, but it will do so in a crisscross patchway or patchwork, which serves the purpose of closing this gap relatively fast. But because the fibers are misaligned, it's not necessarily very strong. But the body has this great ability to get stronger in the direction that we're applying force. So if I'm doing traction this way, the body will naturally try to align the fibers in this direction wherever the pull is coming from. So we can speed up the recovery process, or more precisely, the rehabilitation process, by applying traction to the injured areas. The last thing I would do in this METH framework is that I would apply heat. So instead of using ice, which slows down everything, I would apply heat, because heat increases the blood pressure. It increases all the activity and all the processes that need to take place whenever my body's doing work. So I need nutrients to come to the area. I need blood to come to the area with all these nutrients. And I need to keep fueling that until the area is healed. Heat will also sometimes decrease pain, which ice of course also does, but ice also slows down everything. So I would rather apply heat and get as much inflammation and as much blood flow going to that injured site so that it can start to heal faster. You might notice that I said inflammation, and inflammation is this word that a lot of people are afraid of. So it's like inflammation is a bad thing. But there's a saying in physiology that I sometimes think people miss. The saying is this: there can be inflammation without healing, but there cannot be healing without inflammation. So instead of us trying to limit and shut down inflammation right away whenever an injury happens, we need to actually further the inflammation and have the inflammation go and do its thing so that the body can then repair itself and heal afterwards. Now, if the inflammation is persistent for several months, then we need to do something about it. But in the acute phase, inflammation is actually a good thing. So next time you have an injury, think about the METH framework for injury rehabilitation: movement, elevation, traction, and heat. I hope you stay injury-free, but if the accident happens, try this out and let me know how it works for you. Thank you for tuning in, and until next time.